Today, on another note.
Whenever Kevin is on set, that means the topics are gonna be extra hot. I wanted to jump in today with talking about gender roles and gender inequality. We all know in the Caribbean and globally as well, women are not treated as fairly as men are in the workplace.
And I nearly hit the floor because I have more bills.
So basically all she's saying is gender equality isn't about meeting a goal. It's about making sure all of us equally play the right part to make sure that our territories and our nations and our countries are successful.
A group of ladies who are doing a thing in the tourism industry, catering to guests and their needs, specialized needs, boating needs, visitors. I mean, it's all about ultimate vacations, BVI.
Can a man and a woman remain friends after a breakup?
I don't think that's a healthy situation for you to be in.
I'm sorry. Did y'all see that? She was like, I'm sorry, you said what? Always remain who?
I'm childish, stop it.
Do you not trust that man? Should you test the waters before you get married?
Sex should not be the only reason for marriage.
Sometimes it's good. It's good.
What's good? Welcome back to On Another Note. We're not your average talk show, which is why you're watching. Today, it's going to be an amazing show. We have our, I don't want to call him a guest panelist. He's actually a part of the team now. So we have co-host Kevin in the house.
Hey guys. Hey, how you doing?
And you know what happens whenever Kevin is on set, that means the topics are gonna be extra hot, extra hot. So go ahead, grab some water. You might need a little bit of milk. It's about to be an amazing show. Ladies, gentlemen, how was your week?
It's good. Long.
I'm alive and I'm still hoarse.
Yeah, you've been hoarse for a minute. I like the raspy on you. I like the raspy.
Give her a recipe.
The recipe. She need a little
We
recipe.
got to give her a recipe. We don't talk.
I don't want your recipe.
So Kevin, you had a good week?
It was good. Just long, but busy. But
I think for
good.
some reason all of us have had a long couple of weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well,
Elections are over pretty soon.
so I wanted to jump in today with talking about gender roles and gender inequality, especially as it relates to the marketplace. We all know in the Caribbean and globally as well, women are not treated as fairly as men are in the workplace. We're still treated almost as at a lower level. Some statistics from a blog I was reading that does Caribbean evaluations as it relates to women and men in the workplace throughout the Caribbean said that the general score is a 1. If you have a 1 in your region, that means that the men and women are treated equally in all aspects. We are at a 0.7 as of 2016, which is good because 0.7 is very close to 1. But the report also says that Caribbean women are more educated than Caribbean men, but we still are only given 58 cents to every dollar that Caribbean men make. Now tell me, what do we think about that?
Burn it down. Kevin, tell us.
That's a very interesting stat, though.
It is.
I do agree in terms that I feel women are more educated than men right now. But I think in terms of men still making more, I think that's going to be a process that's going to take more years to come because it's been a norm for so many years.
But why should it take
But you're
longer?
seeing a trend that it's actually changing. So, I mean, there is hope that it's going to get to where it needs to get to, but, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight because you still have a lot of people with the old school mindset.
Yeah.
And until you weed through some of those and the bigger companies and stuff like that, then I think we're going to be here for a little bit. But I think it's good to see that there is progress.
We're progressing,
Yes.
yeah. I was trying to find an article that gave the different Caribbean islands Trinidad is leading in women that are almost equal. So they are almost up to 50% of equality with women and men in the workplace and in different roles, which is awesome. So you have Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana, and Barbados.
Well,
yes.
yeah, I was just gonna ask you where Barbados is at. 'Cause
Barbados
I
is
know-
actually 4th on that list.
I know they have. Don't they have a female prime minister? Or
They
something like
do.
that?
They do.
So I was really interested to hear
Yeah,
where they
they
rank,
do.
because obviously that country has made a major step. I think Jamaica did it already, right? They had a
Yes, they had
female,
one before a few years ago.
I mean, that's something I'd like to see happen in the BVI one day.
I was just going to say, you know where we ranked? Are we mentioned
No,
there
we're
right
not.
now?
So they started with the bigger Caribbean islands. So they listed the first 8 biggest Caribbean islands, and then they did the general base off of those. Our stats are in there, but they're not as significant because we don't have the population, to create, So we would need to do that for ourselves. And I really think it's important. If we're honest, we're seeing now, we've been for the last couple weeks within an administration that has 2 women in it. And now, there was a possibility perhaps of having women, more than 2 women in our legislature, our House of Assembly. So we're seeing a rise locally. We're also seeing a rise with women throughout the Caribbean in male-dominated fields, engineering. Women are now starting to take that over. We're moving into politics like you would not believe. I was surprised that one of the statistics talked about mechanics. There are a lot of women mechanics and construction workers within the Caribbean.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think I've seen 1 or 2 right here in the BVA.
Yes.
I've seen more than 2, but I mean, I was thinking along the pay scale, I think that maybe it has something to do with women feeling the need not, or the difference between men and women is that the negotiation process. Me, myself personally, when looking for a job, I had no clue about how to negotiate what my worth was. So going into a job, an entry-level job, them telling me, well, it's X amount of money. I'm like, well, that's better than what I was making in high school. But not necessarily knowing that I could have or should have negotiated for even a median level of salary versus entry level as it relates to my qualifications. Whereas a man would have come in and go, nope, I want higher, and it would have he would have gotten it.
But
I don't know.
I kind of disagree with that a little bit, though,
disagree,
because
'cause
I think women nowadays are a lot more aggressive.
Well,
No.
And I see it more in my field, in my profession. If, for example, let's say I have 2 rays and I'm about to give a female and a male. That female, when she comes in there, she has all her stuff together and she can justify why she's supposed to get what she's supposed to get. And I think you're seeing that a lot now with women. When they go to job, they have all their qualifications and they have done their research and say, okay, this is where the pay scale is at. You can't stop me here, and this is why. Whereas it's easier to swing around certain men.
Right, but the men
it's
wouldn't
very
come
hard.
prepared though. The men will come and they'll just be based off of a conversation. No. Maybe they might do their research, but it wouldn't be as heavily as a woman have coming in with a whole annual report, statistics about previous hires, the starting level of the job to defend why she should be at a certain salary range. Versus a man come and he'll just go, I deserve it because I'm the man.
Well, I agree and disagree. What I know is true, and I don't think that you've said that, is men walk into the room and automatically that person sitting behind that head table knows that the scale is going to start here. Whether they say something, they're prepared or unprepared, I think the scale just starts higher for them.
Because you come in with a presence.
Yeah, it's like Kevin said earlier, historically we have seen that be a part of the issue. And I think unfortunately for women, they go, I will see how high up she will go. As opposed to for a man, they start in the middle and then they go, let me see if he will bite or go higher. For us, they might start on a lower end. One of the things I found interesting about this article is that Guyana leading this gender equality role, one of the things that attributed to their success is they enacted a gender role law. So they have something called a Caribbean, they enacted a gender quota law in 2000, and the quota, they have to fulfill that quota. So knowing that their country has to fulfill that quota, they're doing so much better than the rest of us. Do you think that's something that we could potentially look at enacting here, having a quota? It's not necessarily a law, it's just a quota that we want to, as a territory, meet to make sure that there's equality.
Well, we have a gender policy. You know, our issues here are always not that we
Enacting
don't
them.
have legislation, but we don't have any enforcement or how we go about enforcing. It's the same way with parks and stuff. We could have the beautiful parks that open in the ribbon cut, and in a year or two, the maintenance
Yeah.
is a mess. So I feel the same way about legislation. We have a gender policy that speaks to the inequalities based off of male and female.
But there's no
job
quota that
opportunities.
mandates in our thing to
I think it
say,
even speaks to. I think it speaks to it, but we haven't gotten to that part where we ask for the feedback, or we actually enact on it, because it even speaks to women in politics. Like just recently, we've seen an increase in the women being engaging in it. But when you ask the public for their response, if they feel that a female premier would be best suited, a lot of the times the responses are no, and they're coming from a female demographic.
yeah.
So it's even our own selves that put us back, not necessarily that it's
We don't support each
that
other.
right.
Yeah.
It's weird. Or if it's not a female demographic that says no, sometimes it's a female HR that will put down the woman from getting the highest salary as opposed to the man, even though she may be more qualified.
Is it because females are more emotional?
It's not that. We
Just
don't.
asking.
I think
I don't
That's
know.
a good point.
that's a
Just
good point.
asking.
It is.
I don't know if it's
How
an
dare you,
emotional.
Kevin? I'm just saying.
So that goes into, I don't know if it's emotional per se. I don't know if it's because we're a small community and everyone knows somebody that knows somebody. And I don't know if it's too, I sometimes feel like because we're female dominated and so much roles, and human resources tends to be, when you go into the HR department, a lot of jobs, they're female. The HR manager is a woman. And sometimes the roles that we're interviewing for may be more than the HR person itself that are interviewing you. So some women might feel a little biased already to say, she don't deserve this 6-figure salary. Even though that's where it starts.
Okay.
So they already come in with that mindset,
Preconceived
because if
notion.
it's a man, you know, they maybe already feel like the man is already a dominant person or sex. So they automatically give it to them, because more than likely sometimes too, the human resources is a woman and the supervisor or the manager is a man. So they come in with the expectation, or that like it's already a preconceived behavior or understanding that the man is the manager and I'm the HR, and anyone else that comes in looking like me, a counterpart, a past high school, college mate, how dare she come in and want to be over me? I gotta make sure she on my level. But if it's a man, they'll be willing to bend and give it to him at a higher salary. I've seen that and experienced it.
I don't know how Bertha feels about this, but I'm thinking one of the things that we aren't really saying is the fact that we grade each other harder.
Yes.
You tend to grade yourself harder. So the expectations for another woman, I am going to expect so much more from you because I see myself in you. One. And then the second part of that is that we know all the issues that women have to go through. So already we know Bertha has 3 children. We know she has a husband. Already you're going, you know what? She's not going to be cut out for this because she have a family life. And we already make these preconceived notions that Adriana tried to allude to. Yeah, and there's a bias already in the background. I mean,
Well, I was going to say that I prefer, for some reason, male bosses, because I do believe that men, they don't be thinking too much into a situation. They just see a situation, for example, if they're dealing with an HR matter, as it is, as opposed to women
into your business.
men think logically in
they
general.
Think logically. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed. I don't want to use the word emotional, but
I guess
we really think different.
Yeah, I want to read this quote from Kofi Annan, who is the former UN National Secretary, and it says, "Gender equality is more than a goal in itself. It is a precondition for meeting the challenge of reducing poverty, promoting sustainable development, and building good governance." So basically all she's saying is gender equality isn't about meeting a goal. It's about making sure all of us equally play the right part to make sure that our territories and our nations and our countries are successful. And that is something I had not heard before, and I believe, you know what, she's right. It isn't about us getting on the same level as a man. It isn't about women doing better and excelling. It really is just about building a holistic territory.
Everyone just doing their part.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on that note, I just want to say, if you're a woman out there, do your best. I think we need to get rid of all of these blurred lines in between. Oh, they hire a man, because you go in with your best foot forward. If you're the best candidate, it will be undeniable. So don't worry about what people are saying, what the preconceived notions are. Go in with your best foot forward. If you do find that there are some biases and allegiances, then make your petitions known, because sometimes we walk away from these situations, we know there's a bias and we don't say anything.
Because I'm going to go back. When I started my job, I had no idea that I could have negotiated a higher salary. And a friend from college came back, a male, and he started maybe 6 months after me, let's see. And I think he was offered the same starting salary, and he was like, no, this can't work. And he went back and he asked him and said, we need to negotiate the salary, and they did, and he got a higher salary, and I nearly hit the floor because I have more bills. I have more credit cards.
See why you don't tell people how much you're making?
Right, and it's very taboo here that persons actually talk about their salary.
That's true.
Salaries is like
Secrets.
Like you're asking me my panty size almost. Like, that ain't your business. But if we have the conversations, then we should know where at least some of us should value.
Yeah.
We have no idea what we're worth, even in the field of communications. Why one photographer can call a figure of $500 an hour, and the next one working for $50. And when you put the photos together, they're the same. Well, the $50 one is better
Same
than the
quality.
$500. That thing blows me away, and I don't think it's fair. And I think that people need to start thinking along the lines of that quote.
Yeah.
That we need to promote a higher standard of living for everyone.
For everyone, good
not
governance,
based off
better
of who
living.
You know, not based off of who your family,
No gender.
or family you think, but doing better off than another one, and it's unfair, or you think it's unfair. Like, take your feelings. Kevin was right. It's emotions.
Some of it. Don't agree with Kevin. Some of it is emotion. Some
of it is emotions.
Very small part. Very, very small part.
That estrogen is
very small part. And on that note, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these commercials.
A group of ladies who are doing a thing in the tourism industry, catering to guests and their needs, specialized needs, boating needs, visitors. I mean, it's all about ultimate vacations, BVI.
Can a man and a woman remain friends after a breakup?
I don't think that's a healthy situation for you to be in.
I'm sorry. Did y'all see that? She was I'm sorry, you said what? Always remain who?
I'm childish. Stop it.
Do you not trust that man? Should you test the waters before you get married?
Sex should not be the only reason for marriage.
Sometimes it's good. It's good. You can.
Shavanda Naturals, handmade natural products made in the British Virgin Islands. Our products are sourced from natural and sometimes organic ingredients. Shavanda Naturals is the perfect gift for your loved one this season. Try our hair and body butters, natural handmade bar soaps, lip balms, shampoos, conditioners, oils, pomades, and scrubs. Also available for wholesale to hotels, bed and breakfast, as well as retail markets. Call us at 443-5404 or send us an email at shavanda@gmail.com.
At Blossoms, our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, or super yacht. You can also find a wide variety of silk and dried flower designs, fresh cut flowers, local flowers, tropical blooms, fruit and gourmet baskets, chocolates, balloons, both helium and air-filled, various gift items, and an assortment of plush animals. With a floral experience spanning over 28 years, we have earned a reputation for excellence both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
Welcome back to On Another Note. I still have a frog in my throat, but we're gonna go ahead with our local spotlight, all the entrepreneurs, innovators, and I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing about my VG folks because we're so amazing.
Whatever.
But this time around, we're gonna talk about a group of ladies who are doing a thing in the tourism industry, catering to guests and their needs, specialized needs, boating needs, visitors. I mean, it's all about Ultimate Vacations BVI. Let's give it up to them. So I'm going to, because they ain't from VG, I ain't familiar. No, I'm playing. But I'm just going to bring it up to Tashima Martin, Sandra Massacott, and Jillian Stout. They came together. They saw a need for, it's almost like you could say concierge / travel agent, catering to any guest needs, booking their needs. And you know, we're heavily dependent right now on yachting and booking boat tours or book overnight vacations on the boats, especially. We get a lot of our tourism from, because we don't have any accommodations right now per se. Like the big resorts are down. So they saw this need for the overnighter, the boaters, the yachters, and they have a specialty in catering to them especially. That's awesome. So let's big up them. Yeah. Check them out on Facebook. I'm not sure if they have an Instagram page, but I mean, right now in the climate we're in, we need anyone to try to diversify our tourism product. And it's important that locals do it, not have anyone else come in and tell us what to do, but we identify for ourselves what the need is. Because in Virgin Gorda, we're like heavily dependent on a lot of tourists, and you see them walking around and they come up to you, they ask you, well, what to do, what's the nightlife like? And I mean, it's not 100%, but with businesses like Ultimate Vacations, they can schedule, give them a little outline, prerequisite of what they can do on island. And that's amazing. We need to just give them all the props.
What I like about it is that I think they are just three friends who've decided to come together and merge their talents.
Right, because it's so hard with friendships these days. You know, high five, because you are.
I think it's awesome.
That's good. That's really good.
That you just, you know, because a lot of times businesses aren't always about you doing something. It's really good to have other people who have the same level of passion and a different talent to merge, multiple talents and create an ultimate experience for our guests, maybe even our locals. So shout outs to y'all. Y'all doing your thing. So if you have people who want to find out what to do, if you yourself have friends visiting. I have a lot of friends who visit me from college, who visit me, from my life before I moved to BVI. This is a service that we can use to make sure that we have scheduled out activities and all of that stuff. So check them out on Facebook for sure, Ultimate Vacations BVI.
And their website, ultimatevacationsbvi.com. I used to work for a resort long ago. We won't say how long. I'm that old. And working in the hospitality industry is very demanding and it's very tedious. It's very detail oriented. Like, I mean, your I's have to be dotted, your T's have to be crossed. Persons are very picky about what they need or what their needs are or what their wants are. So a business like this that is thriving and it's successful, that tells you the type of persons that are behind of it too. They have an eye for detail and they're making their way through, and I'm very sure to hear much more great things for Ultimate Vacations BVI
in the near future. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that highlight. And talking about Ultimate, we have got the Ultimate team behind us. So we want to say a shout out to some of our sponsors, Horizons Catering, who consistently gives us some of the best meals. Ladies, didn't you enjoy the fruit platter? We had some gorgeous mini sandwiches.
Say less.
Oh yeah, we had some really gorgeous fruit platters, a really healthy meal. There were some mini sandwiches that were just so good. So thank you to Horizons Catering for always making sure that we are well fed but not overfed. We appreciate it. We need to maintain our figures. Also, a special thank you to Beautiful by Jasanay, who is the ultimate team behind all that we're doing. They consistently support us.
Yeah.
Jewelry, clothing, we absolutely love it. And today, Bertha is wearing Duo Collection by Nadia.
Yes,
so big up to
Nadia.
all our local entrepreneurs who are doing their things. And right now, we're getting ready to go to... I can't do it quite like April. We're getting ready to go to our hot topics.
Ladies and gents, today we have a very hot topic. Can a man and a woman remain friends after a breakup? Kevin, would you allow me to see John after me and John had broken up and you and I have started a relationship?
It depends on the level of the relationship.
My relationship or me and John, my ex?
Yeah. Because, I mean, in some instance, yes, because two people can be two adults about something where you guys can still remain friends in some sort. But it comes down to, I feel, for me, in a sense, you'll always have feelings for that person. Let's put that out there.
Okay.
But it all depends on the level of where the
Adriana's face is killing
where
me
the
right
feeling
now. I'm
is at.
sorry.
You know what I mean?
Did y'all see that? Who was that? I'm sorry. You said what? Always remain who?
Always do what?
We don't do that.
No, because if
funny.
it depends, it all depends on the feeling. Because that person might have a lot of feelings still for you, and then I don't think that's a healthy situation for you to be in. But at the same time, I'm friends with some of my exes and stuff like that. And we have really good relationships still. And that's just us being two adults about everything. We tried it, it didn't work. But at the end of the day, we're still friends.
I'm childish. Stop it.
No, but it can work.
Adriana's whispering things I know.
You gonna allow me to talk to John after I told you how much I liked John?
How much you like him? Or
Yes.
Did you like him or did you like him? Did you like him or did you like him?
I liked John.
Was
Well-
John your first
well,
love?
no,
Did he pop the
until-
cherry?
Listen, it don't matter. I liked John.
Man,
Are you going to?
then that's different. If you just when you get to when you like John, then we could revisit that conversation. But the like
to the second power is a
yeah,
problem?
you
Second
it's-
power likes are a
Yeah,
problem.
you
Did
open.
you guys
If
get
you
that?
like
Write that down.
you opening that door for stuff to rekindle again.
Oh, I bet
I
you.
am
That
going to
like-
Wait, well, Bertram, what's your take on it? You didn't say what you.
I am going to reverse. Kevin, I don't care if you and I are together. You cannot call Adriana. You can't call her. No,
What
not
about
so.
just being friends? They
We're
can
just
see each other on the
friends.
street and say
You
hi.
can hail her from afar, but don't get too close. Don't get too close to
Bertha's
her.
like 10 feet.
But if Adriana has a specialty, and I know she has a specialty, why can't I call her and say, if it's pertaining to that field, because I know she's a specialist in that field. Why can't I
Kevin,
call her
I
and say,
need to
hey
remind you-
Adriana,
See the dimple?
Listen to me, Kevin. I need to remind you that I'm Dominican. In Dominican, people, Latinos are very jealous. You can
I'm
hail her.
blackity black and I'm
That
jealous.
almost
too.
So
Listen
then,
to me.
so then do you not trust that man?
I don't know about trust. I don't know. No.
Because in order
The guy you don't trust or his ex?
in order for our relationship to start it, we had to start it based on
Old
trust,
fire
right?
stick is easy to catch. Old fire stick easy to catch and to avoid things.
trust
Hey.
anyone.
Hail Adriana from afar. If you want to continue with me.
So no calling,
No.
no texting.
No.
You're crazy?
No, that's why
Just
you
a
don't
hi.
understand.
Is everything okay? How you been?
No.
How's your mom?
So I'll break this up. I agree with you, Kevin. I think that it is okay for you to maintain a healthy relationship with your ex. And I will say this, I actually judge you based on that. Can you guys still communicate? You know, why is it that all your ex you have a toxic relationship
Exactly.
with? What happens in your past that you can't have a healthy friendship? Do you run into things
then the
too
common
quickly?
denominator
Do
becomes that person.
The common denominator then becomes you. You have the problem. It can't be that every person that you have been with, that you have such a toxic relationship that you can't even be cordial. To me, that is a problem.
Facts.
None of your business.
Listen. Okay, let me clear this up. If you had a relationship that ended a few months ago, or even a year or two ago, I'm going to be cautious, especially if you were to open up to me and tell me how much you like Adriana.
Second power.
No, you have to, gauge the whole situation. But if you had a relationship with her many years ago, okay.
Okay, so what if you met someone, they were married before, right? They are not allowed to talk to their ex-wife anymore?
You have children? You have children? You have children?
Children and without children.
Children or
Okay,
without
children, you have to talk.
I don't
you have
believe
to
in,
be co-parents. You have to have a healthy relationship for the children to have healthy children.
Okay.
You can't have dysfunction.
What if
and
you didn't have
trying to
any
raise
children
healthy.
now?
If you're without children,
It's your ex-wife.
No.
I don't know. I think one of the things Bertha was saying is
What do
that
you want? Alimony? Like, what are we talking
So
about?
I think one of the
Land
things,
issues?
but one of the
House?
things Bertha was talking about was the fact that if it's a month. I think I agree with you. There should be a healthy space, but a healthy amount of time between relationships shouldn't be 4 years. I mean, 2 months after a relationship, you
but
should be able
people
to
keep
still.
double dipping. That's why they have problems. People, stop the madness.
Put lack
Stop
of
the
trust
madness. I
sign
listen to
over
all your
Adriana.
foolery. People double dip, and because you double dip, you still have feelings. If you cut the thing clean, then maybe you could have a healthy, cordial association, not a relationship.
A friendship, though.
In a friendship, you have friends. You don't need a man to be your friend. No, I don't think so. It's an association. I used to know him. He's cool. He's all right. Yeah. That's it. If you double dip, you're going into trouble, and then you can't be friends because somewhere along the lines, sex equals feelings. I don't care man or woman. And people need to be real. People need to be real that they double dip. You break up and I got drunk at night and I didn't really mean it, but I still love you because you double dip. That's the only reason why I think relationships. Y'all got me. No, don't play me. Don't play me. Don't play me. That's the only reason why people have problems with friendships. Because they double dip. You're in a new relationship and you still reaching over there for Bertha.
But you can't judge everyone on.
Telling her I miss you on
But
the
you can't judge
side.
everyone that way, though. You can't judge everyone that way.
I'll do it. ALL.
If
If people come clean about their situationships, and that's why I think that you can't be friends. I'm not your friend. You used to know me. I'm an associate. You can say that we had some sort of we're together now. I used to be with Glenn. He was a good guy. The end. That's not your business. Unless there's a child involved, and even then, Glenn's a great guy. We have a child. The end. That's not your business. Unless we have like a family gathering, and maybe at some point we could talk about it, kind of, sort of, on a weird Shonda. What's the girl name? Mashonda, Alicia Keys, Wiz, whatever. They're weird. But if you can handle that realness, because they're very open. It's very open. But it took a while to get there. If you're willing to go there, then in a co-parenting situation, you can be open and y'all can be friends, ex-wife with kids, ex-girlfriend with kids, whatever, for children's sake. But if you have nothing really to hold on to other than alimony, and maybe when you going to give me my money back for that lunch you owe me, when you going to pay me back my rent money because you're sick in your head, then that's as far as the conversation goes. It's not your business.
Even if you were married for years? Years?
No.
I think there's some relationships.
Why you break up?
Everything is different.
Okay. If you ended things in a respectable manner,
But even if it wasn't respectable, but you guys understand that, look, this can't happen
because even sometimes too, when people get on a understanding and they're cordial, sometimes you look beyond all the filth and then your little light, your little old wick catch fast again.
Old
and
fire stick,
you're seeing a person beyond the nonsense why you divorce him, and that's why all couples find themselves back together, because they're like, you know what, I misjudged Kevin. He's not a bad guy after all. I could get past his smelly underwear.
Some people get together, and while they're together, they realize that hey, you know, we're actually more better as friends. Like, you know, like this is not for us. But at the end of the day, we're friends and we can always remain friends. But we know that the relationship is just not for us, not for two of us.
And I think
I trust you. I don't trust her. So no.
which is the biggest part of why people believe that relationships shouldn't be in friendships. But I believe what a lot of the problem is a lot of times we get into these relationships, and let's be honest, we get into relationships before we get into friendships. True. So you meet someone, it's a fast track, and then before you know it, you're sexually involved. That turns into you having false feelings because they're not real feelings. And then the thing breaks up, and it breaks up sour because you realize, what in Sam Hill? I don't even like this person. How did we even? And then it turns into something really bitter because you hadn't developed a friendship. So take time to develop friendships before you start being intimately involved. Here's my my little disclaimer. Technically, you should be married before you be intimately involved. Jesus is watching. Anyways, but
God sample it first.
oh my goodness,
That sounds like another
this is
topic.
not a tart. You don't get to sample a piece of
That sounds
coconut
like
tart
another
before
topic.
you tell the baker.
Producer,
Okay, reel us
I
back
need to
in.
know that baker
Reel us
is a
back
bomb
in.
diggity before I buy the tab. Like,
Reel us back in.
Exactly.
Reel us back in.
sorry, Lord.
But I think that's what happens. I believe, I mean, am I wrong in that assessment? I believe that we really get into these relationships, and then before you know it, we fall out, and then we can't even be cordial. Like I said in the beginning, if you have 8 exes that you just really bitter against, if you got 5 exes that you bitter against, I'm looking at you. Because there's a common denominator, and you might be part of that problem.
Okay, a salt, and I'm looking for my pepper, not sugar. No, I think that really, no.
It's a judgment call.
I also wanted to say that sometimes we women, let's face it, we can be very malicious. Even if I don't want Kevin back.
And petty.
Bertha doesn't deserve him, and I'm gonna break this up.
Listen to me,
That's
and
true.
I know how Kevin used to feel about me.
That's the problem. Anytime
That's
I sit down and I
true.
think about you,
I'm gonna be
cannot
rearranging
deny
my
that.
doing
coat
it for
hair
me,
stuff.
and you doing it for somebody else, and I don't give you the best years of my life.
No, but
Like I give you the 50
sometimes you
less
prep
pounds
that
on me.
person for someone else, though. It's just like food. Sometimes you just prep that person for someone else. So you shouldn't look at it that way.
But that's my favorite dish, though. I don't want to give it away.
That's a good point, Bertha. That really is a good point, because a lot of times women, I think women more than men.
Men are malicious too.
Yes, but
men because I had some crazy exes.
women are malicious even without a cause.
Men
Women
too.
will go, oh, she happy? Oh, hell no.
I found out that the ex was calling someone who I was
Yep.
with
I endorse
to
that
make
100%.
a point. I found that out after me and the person broke up. They were like, your ex crazy and two I deserve each other. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, he was calling me and telling me that we ain't gonna ever be what you all were. I was like, that's some sick stuff. Now you tell me when we break up, you sick too. You wanted it to happen. So the friendship thing, it takes a lot of adulting. And I don't think that some persons are on that level of adulting. Sorry. I don't think that some persons are on that level of adulting.
I am not.
So I mean, but you're married, so.
Hello.
With marriages,
You never
it's a
heard
little
married
bit
man
different.
got 5 quart, dollar got 5 quart. We're moving right along. I don't want to interrupt you. That's another topic.
First of all, I thought it was only 4 quarters in a dollar.
She said you ever had.
Apparently, there's 5.
Clearly.
We're going to get back to that point. It is a heated discussion. Let's continue this discussion on our Facebook page. Do you think that you can maintain a friendship with your ex even after you moved into another relationship? We seem to be a bit torn here on our panel. Give us your ideas. Give us your discussion. Give us your viewpoint. Visit us on OANTalk on Facebook or OANTalk on Instagram, and go to our YouTube page. Subscribe to On Another Note. I think that conversation was pretty good, and I believe we're going to continue this conversation after this break. But before we go, do you see the background behind me? Isn't it just gorgeous? It is a nice breezy day.
It sure is.
It is gorgeous. The sun is shining. It's clear skies. You won't believe this. If you watched our last episode, you will see that we were at Eagle's Nest in Nottingham Estate, East End, Tortola. Would you believe that we are still at the same location? 3 times a charm. It is gorgeous. They have got a pool house. It's equipped with pool, a barbecue station. It is. It's the ultimate party location. And to be honest, this location could be yours. Short-term rental, party rental, or for long term. The house that sits separately from the entertainment area is 3 stories. They've got 3 bedrooms, an amazing master suite, a beautiful ensuite master bathroom. They've got 2 living areas in that main house. And then you walk down a very short distance to this entertainment area. What do you guys think?
Lovely. Do you see what's behind? Okay, I won't mention it.
It's
something that looks like a pole. But
it is awesome. Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful location, and there's a lot of details. So if the key fits, make sure you buy, rent, or at least rent it out for your party. We'll be back on another note.
At Horizon Catering, we deliver the highest quality food, innovative presentations, and professional services. We know how important catering is to your event, so we cut no corners to ensure a satisfying and memorable event. We can turn your next event from the ordinary to the extraordinary. For the highest quality food, innovative presentations, and professional services, call Horizon Catering at 284-499-2132 or 499-2142.
And we're back right here on Another Note. Yes, we're still at the gorgeous Nottingham Estate Eagles Villa, which is just so beautiful. But today, you will notice something. We are 2 men down. April, Dr. Shaq, we miss you.
We love you.
But listen, the fun doesn't stop because you're not here. So today we have a very special treat for you as our co-host Kevin is about to give us another hot topic. Kevin, over to you.
So I have a really good question for you ladies today.
Okay.
And I would like to get your advice on this. Should you test the waters before you get married?
Yes.
Because I think this is a very important topic.
I'm sorry, producers, can you get my Bible for me real quick? No, go ahead and get my Bible for me.
Go ahead and get the holy oil. So you add it.
What do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about that? Should you or should you not?
I think my answer is a plain no. I don't think, for me, as a Christian, I really don't believe in having premarital sex. I think it's important for you to test the waters, as in ask all the questions. Know what somebody's expecting, know what they like, I think that's very important. But to be honest, testing the waters, do you know what that could create? You end up not marrying that person, and then you have added a whole bunch of extra things that you...
It could also save your divorce.
Sex should not be the only reason for marriage. You should, if you're marrying for sex, it is going to break up anyways. I'm telling you, it's not going to last because you need to be more than just sexually compatible.
True,
so
but
that's why I don't think testing the waters is a major part of it.
But is it not a major part of marriage?
It's a main ingredient in the apple pie.
It is a main ingredient. I would agree that it is a main ingredient in marriage, but I just think that relationships are so much more than that. And what happens if that person gets into an accident? They become impotent. They become, something happens. Then what happens? Your marriage breaks up?
No. That, to me, I feel that's
it's
different.
not. Because if sex is a main part of your marriage or a reason why you decided to marry this person, if they're unable to do that anymore, you have kids and your body parts aren't the same and they're no longer compatible to you, then it becomes the main reason why you get a divorce. I have seen it way too many times, and this is why I can't condone it. That's me.
The religious side of me, I would have to agree with Angel. We are ruled by higher rules, which are the rules of God. And anything outside of that, we break in the rules and we pay for the consequences. Whether that is the norm, because now it has become the norm.
Oh, yeah.
It has become the norm, but it doesn't mean that it's right. However, then the other side of me, sometimes it's good. It's good.
What's good?
Talk to
You're gonna make me say it.
Talk to
You know, to know a person before you actually get to sign that paper.
To find out if they have one ball.
Well, you can
find
ask
out-
those questions.
or
What do you like
They lie.
sexually?
People lie.
Or to find out whether the shoe size is just 6.5.
Oh
you
my
know?
goodness.
But I'm torn.
Oh
I thought we weren't judging on hands and feet. I mean,
We said that a couple
So what do you
episodes ago.
say?
Apparently it changed today. Adriana, what do you say?
Lord, what was the question?
Should you test the waters before marriage?
Of course. Because I don't want to buy apple pies and it's missing apple.
Adriana, your mom might be watching.
She knows I'm a product of her. Love you, mommy. I don't want to buy apple pie and it's not apples in the pie.
Okay.
And next thing you know, I throw the pie away. AKA divorce. That don't make sense.
Okay, if I'm being devil's advocate, I can understand why. I can see why people would want to test the waters.
You see?
Because you want to know what it's like going into the store, you try on the shoe.
What's the main
before
mission of
you buy
marriage?
it. But the main mission of marriage is not sex, which is
What is
why
it?
it's about love and
It's a
companionship.
relationship.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It's
I thought it would be
companionship.
fruitful and multiply.
No, it is.
that's part of it.
That is a part of it. But being fruitful and multiplying doesn't mean that you need to be so involved. That means you're saying, "Oh,
How
we
do
should
you
have a kid
how do
before
you
we get
multiply?
married."
How did I create another me? I found a person and we made
watch
another
her
me.
face. Let me see her face.
We kaboom! Isabella was born.
All right, Virgin Mary.
I mean, no, I said I found a person. I didn't say I didn't have I have her on my own. That was the point.
Yeah,
That was the whole point.
It is, and that is a big part of getting married. But what I think we get caught up in, because what happens in marriages is that we base it off of these sexual fantasies and the excitement that comes along with it, and we forget the finances. So he is not good with finances, and y'all house about to be repossessed, y'all, and all of these things happen because he got good dick, and you didn't bother to. Can we say that on camera? Maybe cut that part out. But in being real, you don't look at anything else. He's a thief. He's unfaithful.
This is why you
in
get
general,
prenuptial agreements.
and you miss all of that because the sexual relations are so good that it has drowned you out. You don't see nothing else, and then you move on to that, and then your relationship can't even last because you didn't realize that he's a person who can't commit.
the question.
I did.
And I believe that's
think
what
you
we
should.
have.
Did you answer? No.
I
You said
did.
why?
What
Huh?
did you say?
You said why?
I-
Why it's important?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
I
so-
believe you should sample before. One, I also believe, obviously, sexually. Two, I think you should live with that person.
What? Oh no, Kevin!
I got
am
you.
so disappointed.
No,
in
I
you.
honestly think
I
you
agree.
and I'm saying this, I believe in when you get engaged with that person, I think you should move in with that person and start getting to see what you're getting yourself into with that person.
So let me ask this question: if you realize that life together, you don't want to compromise too much, then what? You throw them away?
No, you
Thank
No,
negotiate.
you come to an understanding.
But then you're taking away the good parts of being married.
How you know
'Cause
that's good parts?
It is a good part of being married. Compromise is a big part of marriage.
Well, right, but that's the compromise, and you need to know what you're compromising. I don't want to compromise, and I'm probably done vexed in a situation, saying, I'm going to say, pick up your jaws off the no.
Yeah,
but
but
leave toothpaste
no,
in the
but what-
sink.
but what
You learn a
happens
lot.
even-
You learn a lot when you live with a person.
You do, but what happens,
you know-
Kevin, is you don't learn everything because this is only temporary. This is my trial for the real thing. You know
Yeah,
what
that's
happens
something
during
else.
your trial?
So what about
You
if
are
you
your
live
best
together and you
self-worth
don't have
off.
sex? What if you live together and you don't have sex?
If
Yeah.
you can live together and
Yeah.
abstain, I actually have friends who are doing that right now.
Uh-huh.
They're in 2 separate rooms because they wanted to
Wow, that's
financially make sure that
That's strong.
and it's rough for them to the point
That's
where
strong.
she's thinking, you know what, I might have to leave because let me tell you, this boy is fine and it's not gonna work out if I stay here.
Stripping
So-
is any sense. But okay, go ahead.
You know,
Shout out Tasha Forty.
but they're doing that because they're thinking holistically about being married, about the financial aspects of it. They don't want to incur double costs because they have a wedding to pay for and they have a life. They want to buy a house immediately as they get married or before they get married. So they're doing it with a thought in mind, but knowing biblical principles for them because they're Christians that we can't have relations.
I have a question for Adriana though. Adriana, I want to be devil's advocate, and I want to ask because Adriana is such a strong female, and then we often forget about the Bible, scriptures and what God put there for us to follow. Do you ever think and meditate, or you just bypass the laws, saying you're your own person in whatever? You're your own person. You take into consideration the consequences. Question, anybody, Mr.
Honestly?
Mr. Fry?
I'll be honest, no.
You don't take it.
I don't even think about that.
You don't
And I
even
just
think
being
about
totally honest.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even.
fine.
It don't even cross my mind.
Because I've done it, obviously. I got married, 1 or 2 years ago. I have big children, obviously. But you always think about that. You're not going to try to make an excuse because you know that the Bible is there. And yes, you sample the pie before you were supposed to eat it, but the rules are the same.
Do you believe Christian, especially young Christian these days, that are in relationships and making a stride to get married, do you think they're following the same laws like you guys would have before?
If
I
want to,
Because there's a lot of temptation in the world.
There
right
is
now.
a lot of. We have to be real. I'm a Christian, but I'm not what you call a traditional Christian because I believe in applying God's word to our current life. I don't believe in making it seem that the God I serve is too high for anybody to reach and that becoming a Christian or this lifestyle is so limiting because sometimes the olden Christianity makes it seem like there's so much limits.
That's
so
like another topic producer.
People don't want to. But wait, let me answer Kevin's. But I think the current Christians, the younger ones, I know some who are following biblical principles to the T, and then I know some who it doesn't work for them.
Okay.
If you're not following, you're just not a Christian. You're a hypocrite. I think.
I wouldn't say that.
Wait a minute. Did you abstain before you walked down the aisle? Like, were you a virgin? Were you a virgin when you got married?
I didn't, but I wasn't.
Were you a virgin when you got married?
But you're in the moped.
Okay, so then,
I wasn't
both of you are hypocrites then.
No, I wasn't
but
professing
didn't you hear
Christianity
when
then.
I said that not because I tested the pie before,
So then
the
why put
rules
something
do not
that
change.
why put something that wasn't doable for you on
I
someone
can't
else?
say it
The
wasn't
rules
doable.
doesn't change,
I wasn't-
Adriana.
Or realistic then?
The rules
No,
doesn't change,
Or in
Adriana.
the current, in
The
the
rules
current
doesn't
times we're
change,
in,
Adriana.
with the high number of STDs, the high number of
Precisely why you need to
unplanned
stay by
pregnancies,
yourself.
but that doesn't mean that you have to stay by yourself. It means that maybe we need to do more in educating our children about sex, making
Exactly.
it not a taboo to have a conversation about
Exactly.
it. If you feel the need that you want to engage in it, then here are the measures that you need to take.
Agreed.
Condoms, birth control, something to protect yourself in case you do decide.
Yeah, we agree
because
with
it is
that.
up to you and it is between you and God when you decide to make that big step. If you choose that you are protected if it doesn't go as you planned it or how you expected it to be, and to prevent any type of mistake that might happen because you made a oops in your adolescent mind or in your unprepared mind.
agree with that.
Because you were not prepared for marriage. You are not prepared for commitment. But you are still a human being and you have needs. And those needs, well, however you may put it, you will fulfill them. I know for sure
We're not condemning
it was
either.
not realistic for me not to engage in premarital sex. It was the climate I was in. All my friends lost their virginities before we had prom. Leading up to prom, the day
Damn.
before,
They're putting your
every
friend
single one
business
except
on the
me.
street.
And I sat there like, wow, well, Savarale, I guess we're gonna have to go pop this cherry. And the night of, it did not happen because I was so exhausted from all the prom activities. It was like, it ain't gonna happen. And once I lost that fantasy in my head from what I thought, you know, candlelight, prom dress, we're going to get it on in the back of this car. It didn't happen. I just said, well, bump that. I ain't interested. And it didn't happen until I was really in a relationship where I thought I was in love. And I thought that this person I might have wanted to marry. Until things went really downhill. We didn't want to talk about all what went wrong.
But I'll say this.
But we have to be realistic in terms of I have a teenage sibling, and I have nieces and nephews coming, and I have a child. And I will not dare try to make her feel like a failure.
If you say you're vegetarian and you're eating meat, you're not a vegetarian. You're a hypocrite.
So I think this conversation is getting so hot that what we're going to do is we're going to continue this off the scene, but we're going to ask, you should probably follow us on our social media pages and continue the conversation. Do you think that premarital sex is bad? Good? Give us your views. OANTalk on Facebook, OANTalk on Instagram. On another note, on our YouTube page, subscribe, like, share. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.